Well, happy game day, everybody. It's finally here. Tennessee begins its hopefully long run throughout the NCAA tournament. We'll get you set by talking with the radio voice of Longwood. His name is Sam Hovan, and VFL Ron Slay. It's your game day Thursday edition of Locked On Vols.
You are Locked On Vols, your daily podcast on the Tennessee Volunteers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome into today's edition of Locked On Vols, your Thursday game day edition of Locked On Vols. That is brought to you by BetOnline. It's got you covered this season with more props, more odds, more lines than ever before. Where the game starts, that is BetOnline. I'm your host, Eric Kane. So glad to have you guys along for the ride here today. And it's going to be a good one. Like I said in the cold open, we're going to get some more intel on who Longwood really is. We're going to hear from the legend himself, Ron Slay. You know that man is jacked up for a game day. And then in segment 3, some really interesting, fun props and good lines from BetOnline that you need to check out before the game start here today. I know you guys listen to this for the majority of the time in the mornings. First game start at about 12 o'clock, so you need to go ahead and check it out there. But more on that in segment number 3. Real quick before we get to the nitty-gritty of the show, of course, you can find this anywhere you get your podcasts, available on all audio platforms, on YouTube, 5 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Expect an immediate post-game podcast later today after Tennessee's game against Longwood. And then, of course, we'll have one for Friday. You'll have a post-game podcast on Saturday, as Tennessee's probably going to win today. So don't ever want to just assume, but, that's kind of assuming, right? But I want to take a quick moment real quick and just say thank you. My VolQuest fam started a thread yesterday, and we gained probably 60, maybe a little more than that, subscribers on YouTube. This Tennessee run, especially through the SEC tournaments, YouTube has been very, very busy, and it's been awesome. At the time of this recording, 827 subscribers. You guys know the goal was 1,000. So my goal was to get to this by the end of 1,000 by the end of basketball season. Let's go ahead and knock that sucker out this weekend. By Sunday, let's get to over 1,000 subscribers. Can't thank all of you guys enough. Can't thank you guys on VolQuest and the general quarters enough for starting that thread yesterday and getting it going. You guys are awesome. Really, really appreciate you guys. All right, let's get to Sam Hovan, shall we? Sam Hovan is the play-by-play radio voice of Longwood. He came on Sports 180 on Wednesday and spoke to us, and wanted to share a few clips to give a little bit more intel on who Longwood is. All right, the first one I'm going to play for you is to kind of summarize the season, what's been going on, and one of the hottest teams in the country. They've won about 19 of the last 20 games. That would be Longwood. Here's Sam Hovan on the season it's been, and of course a Big South Tournament championship.
I think the progression through the season has been really fun. The guys knew, and they've talked about it, coming into the season, they felt like they could be good. I don't know that anybody would have expected 15-1 in conference play, winning 19 of your last 20 games to go to the national tournament good. But they knew they had a lot of talent, and then it's just they've really grown, and they're a unit together, and that's what those special teams, when you have the special seasons at our level, that's what happens. Those teams that kind of become the parts and pieces are really good, but then when they all play together, they become even something more special. And to see that throughout the course of the year has been really fun. I think one of the things that's been unique about this team is when games have been close down the stretch, they've gotten teams' best shot night in and night out because they were leading the conference from start to finish. A little bit unexpectedly so, but they got teams' best shot night in and night out. So they always had a calm poise that they displayed in the last 10 minutes of a game. They just always seemed comfortable in that moment. And they played a ton of close ones in conference play.
Longwood's got 3 really, really good players in Justin Hill. You have Sean Wade and Isaiah Wilkins. 2 of those 3 can shoot the daylights out of the basketball from 3-point range. As Longwood goes, as far as these 3 will take them, I wanted to ask more on who these guys are, what make them tick. Here is Sam Hovan on the trio of star players for Longwood.
I think the thing that's special about that trio is it doesn't have to be that it's Justin Hill's got to get 20 tonight. That, championship game, I don't think he hit double digits. In the championship game of the Big South Tournament, he finished with like 9 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. He didn't go out there and say, I got to get 20 for us to win. He said, what do we have to do to win? And so when your 3 best players are all saying that and doing that together, that just sets the table for the rest of your team to follow suit. It's all about the team. And so when you ask, like, what makes those three guys set apart, I think when they're willing to do that and chip in however they can, that has just added up to so much this year.
75.5 inches. That's the average height of each member of the Longwood basketball team. It's the smallest team on average in the NCAA tournament. How have they combated that disadvantage all season long? Here's Sam Hovan.
Well, one thing they try to do, I mean, because it's not new. You know, Longwood's typically one of the smaller teams that's on the court any given night. It's not like it's, oh no, we're in the tournament now, so the team is smaller. It's very much, well, this is how we, you know, this is how they've defended, how they've played throughout the year. In terms of how you handle that, I think this team is a surprisingly good rebounding team. Despite guys maybe not being as big as everybody else, they're very aggressive and they really try to box out defend as five. And that's the other key to how they play. When they're defending well, they're defending as five. It's not just one person playing one-on-one, stop the guy in front of you. They defend as a five-man team. And so when you can do that and then clean the defensive glass, that will give you those chances. Now, it's obviously a much different level when you're playing a team like Tennessee and the size that the Volunteers present. But that's just a part of who they are. It's part of their DNA. Like I said, doing everything as a five-man unit.
And then finally, I asked him, hey, what did we miss? What's something else that we need to know about Longwood heading into the matchup on Thursday night, which, of course, is tonight? How's it been with the run, the community, how's they embraced it, how's the team overall? Some good stuff here from Sam Hovan, finally wrapping up the conversation I had with the radio play-by-play voice of Longwood, Mr. Sam Hovan.
I think the biggest thing is just the joy that the team has playing with each other. And I think I know I've already talked about that. I mean, I know you guys have probably heard, and Tennessee fans are probably getting familiar. Coach Aldrich's story is quite unique in and of itself. But it's funny talking with him the last couple of days. He's been like, this team has just been really fun. I think the other thing, too, is that the community around Longwood has just been so special this year. And over the last couple of years, as Coach Aldrich has helped grow the program as a part of this, this year's been really special. Seeing the men's team do what they've done and the community support in South Central Virginia has been really neat. And then on top of that, the other piece that people may or may not know, the Longwood women's team, about 8 hours after the Longwood men won their tournament final, the Longwood women's team dominated and won the Big South tournament on the women's side to also clinch their first trip at the Division I level of the national tournament. So it's just kind of been a really fun year where both of those things happened on the same day, and that was pretty special to be a part of.
Again, really, really good stuff there. If you want to watch or hear, rather, the complete interview, go to 991thesportsanimal.com Sports 180 page. He was one of our Wednesday guests, so really, really good stuff there from him. Appreciate him taking the time, and hopefully we all learned a little bit more about Longwood, Tennessee's opponent. 17-point favorite at the time of this recording, so I'm expecting Tennessee to make quick work of that noise coming up later this afternoon. 2:45 Eastern time is the tip-off. And again, we'll have post-game coverage right here on Locked On Vols. Follow me on Twitter @_Caner, @Locked On Vols. It is the time that we're going to be all over it right now. Postseason basketball, baby. And a guy that loves some postseason basketball, VFL, the hype man himself, Ron Slay, going to come by the show. So really looking forward to that. Don't go anywhere. Ron Slay is coming up next. But man, do I love March Madness. I love those brackets. I can't really remember the last time I actually went deep or even won any money, though. That's a problem. I'm hedging my bets this year with StatHero's NCAA Pick'em contest. StatHero's single game Pick'ems pits the star players against one another, an amazing hybrid between fantasy and sports gambling. You can take control back from those handicappers that always seem to have the advantage. Start focusing on the players you know best in the gameplay that doesn't rely on big spreads, funky odds, or long outdated props. All right. StatHero gives you the advantage, resulting in their games winning 4 times as more often. Why? Well, StatHero eliminates the mystery about who or what you're going up against. In addition to the pick'em games, they also have dozens of lineups you can comb through to take on a head-to-head matchup. You simply post sets of players for you to take on the sets of players that you choose. All right. StatHero is the easiest and fastest way to get your sports fix on. Right now, go to stathero.com/lockedon, and you're going to get a 100% deposit match. That's stathero.com/lockedon. Use the promo code LOCKEDON for a 100% deposit match. Again, that's stathero.com/lockedon, promo code LOCKEDON. Terms and conditions do apply. Welcome back into Locked On Vols, your team every single day. Got a big matchup coming up tonight, Tennessee Longwood. That'll be at 2:45 Eastern time. And wanted to bring on to VFL the legend, Ron Slay of 104.5 The Zone. Ron, what's going on, man? It's game day.
Man, it's always game day, E. Kane. You know what I mean? But outside of us, it's really game day. So, man, I'm excited about it, man. Great opportunity for the Vols right here to put all the whispers to sleep about their coach, get their back. Get Coach Barnes back. They've been having it all year, so I don't see why that should change now.
How neat was it, you being a VFL, playing in Thomas & Boling Arena, being a part of so many great teams that have come and gone since 1979. It's hard to believe Tennessee's not won an SEC tournament since 1979 until this past weekend.
Yeah.
How cool was that for you to see?
Man, that was amazing, man. That was I was ecstatic, man, and overjoyed for these young guys, man, and just hoping that they understand exactly what it meant, man. Like you said, there's a lot of great teams that came through, man, and we're not able to accomplish that, really not even get to that point, to be able to have the opportunity to accomplish it. So for them to rally in the fashion that they did, that was phenomenal, man. Like to go out there and have defensive stop after stop, hold teams under 60-something points, and, man, 20 points in the first half, and these are really talented teams. It ain't like this was a wash league or something like that. So,
yeah.
And that was big time, man.
How would you assess the post play, so far? Obviously, had to reassess things when Olivier Cumwall went down with the injury. John Fulkerson, midway through the season moved to the bench, but it's really been strength in numbers there. You're playing four guys, and as long as those guys are rebounding and playing some good defense, I thought the four of those guys have played well. I thought Uros has been rebounding fantastically. I think John Fulkerson's been nice in this role. Brandon Huntley-Hatfield's been playing great the last couple of weeks. Right. How would you assess those four guys with Jonas Adu as well?
Man, I look at it as them knowing as a collective unit that they can, sub in for what Olivier was lacking in a sense. You were able to see Huntley-Hatfield be able to stretch the floor and knock down those shots that Olivier was getting comfortable with. You saw Fulkerson get timely rebounds to give us second chances on the boards, and then you see a dude coming in to finally give us that rim protector that we were missing. That was beautiful. And then Uros, you know exactly what he's going to do. He's going to talk trash, and he's going to go out there and beat up a couple people. So he's being a paint protector, man, and an enforcer in a sense. So it's great to see these guys come together, man. And you always see when they go to the bench, Olivier's still right there, coaching them up, telling them things they should know, and then them being receptive of the coaching. So it's all in, hands on deck for these guys, man. I'm really proud of those guys in the boom boom room.
I got to ask, you're a guy that would play, would talk a lot of ish, and would back it up.
Yeah.
No disrespect intended, but Uros doesn't have that same skill set.
Right.
So,
right.
What do you make of Uros and kind of the way he goes about things?
Man, sometimes, man, it's just having that guy, man, to kind of light the match. I think this team is a team that from the guards all the way down, man, the toughness was being questioned throughout the year, and at some point, I remember being able to call the game with Bob Kesselin on Vol Network, the LSU game. Yep. And I was sitting there courtside knowing that LSU was talking trash to the bench and nobody was responding, So I think from that point right there, they inserted Uros. And even though the game was kind of out of hand a little bit, he went in there and got some valuable minutes. I think the team trusted him. The coaches started to trust him. And it was almost like, oh, you ain't just talking. You can get in there and back it up with some dirtiness and some rebounds and some putbacks, and it's really just knowing who you are. So I can't expect him to go out there and put a big slate performance on, but he can get to the entrance of the boom boom room, show his ID, and come on in. Now, he may not get to go to the VIP section right away, but we can get him to the bar and get him a couple drinks, have a good time. So.
Hey, who can't put up that big sleigh, that big sleigh top game? Not many can, right?
It ain't many.
Ron Slay, VFL co-host of 3HL on 104.5 The Zone. Ron, X factor for Tennessee in this tournament. You've got so many great players. Tennessee, again, it's strength in numbers. Play 9 to 10 guys. Who's the X factor for this tournament run?
Man, honestly, I think it's their mentality. I think that's the biggest X factor. I think everybody, if you come in and do the job that you do, Kennedy, Zakai, Santi in that backcourt. Also, if you're getting guys like Powell and DJ Bailey to come in and give just something to the process. Josiah staying out of foul trouble and continue to play the way he does. I think the sky's the limit. And I say the mental because man, you got to be able to mentally control your emotions in this game and be able to look at the game and know what's exactly about to happen, knowing that you are set up for this stage that you're about to be on. So that is turnovers, live ball turnovers cut down, rebound, that's effort and energy. And then finishing, having the focus to finish. I think all this is wrapped into a mental aspect that you got to be able to go out there and get it done. You know, you can control all these things. The refs can't control them. The coaches can't control them. The players can. And it starts about being ready mentally.
Couple more. What should Tennessee expect from Longwood tonight? Big South champions. Assuming you got to be careful there, I guess. But assuming you pass Longwood, Colorado State, Michigan's going to be without its starting point guard.
Right.
So, what do you like about this weekend's slate of games?
Man, I love the matchups. Man, I think Longwood. You know, you can't overlook them. You know, they have a young guy playing really well with them, and just active. You know, and they should be hopefully be a little stunned once they step on that stage and see those bright lights, knowing that they haven't seen anything. You know, the SEC tournament, SEC season kind of gets you ready for these first rounds, you know, and then plus, you know, Coach Barnes has been there. And I think they really rely on Coach Barnes. And Longwood's coach, I don't believe, has this same cachet that Coach Barnes has or the resume he has. So he knows how to prepare guys. Looking at Michigan and Colorado State, I would much rather honestly play Michigan. Because I think they're a team that kind of floundered their way into the NCAA tournament. And it's too much surrounding the program right now, the basketball program. They need to hit the reset button and go back and get in the preseason and get things going. Colorado State, man, they're a deep team. You know, their deep team play really well together, and you don't want that team to get in there and get some momentum and get to shooting the ball well, even though I think our defense will come up. So I would much rather play Michigan than Colorado State, but that's just me.
Moment of truth, man. I think I know the answer to this, but what's your Final Four look like? Who's going to cut down those nets when it's all over?
Man, so I got Tennessee in the South. I got Kentucky in their region. I got
Kitty Cats.
I got the Kitty Cats. The Kitty Cats roaming in their region, and you know what? I'm about to pull it up right now, E-Kane, so I won't misspeak on myself.
I got
UCLA. So let me take it back. I got UCLA beating the Kitty Cats.
Okay.
I got them in the East region, but I was torn on that because the way I'm a believer in Ty Washington. And then we got a force like Oscar Tshiebwe. I think they can get it done. But I picked UCLA. I got Kansas in that region, Tennessee, and honestly, I got Rutgers. I got Rutgers going on the run. So Rutgers, Tennessee, UCLA, and Kansas in the Final Four.
Woo! I love it. I love it. And
hey,
with that type of Final Four, you got to love the Vols' chances. So
yeah,
all starts tonight with the run against Longwood. So Ron Slay, I really appreciate you taking the time, man. Thanks so much, and look forward to having you back here on the podcast.
No doubt, he came, man. Let's go Vols, man. Cut that little long wood down to a short wood, you know, or backwood or something. Let's go.
Ron Slay, always a man of the people. He was fantastic. He is also a big fan of the Built Bars. Here, there's that time of the year where you're trying to stick to those New Year's resolutions. You want to lose some weight, lose or maintain weight, and look fantastic for when you head to the pool, head to the lake, head to the beach, whatever the case may be. Let me introduce some Built Bars to you. Great protein bars that are fantastic substitutes for a candy bar. 17 grams of proteins in these Built-in bars, only 130 calories, only 4 net carbs, compared to a normal candy bar that might have about 240 calories. So it's a fantastic substitution there. They're covered in 100% real chocolate as well. So you know you're getting something fantastic when you bite into a Built Bar. They've got tremendous flavors, and pretty much any type of flavor they think is going to taste good, they're going to try to make it. They got, coconut almond, cherry, mint chocolate chip, cookies and cream, all that type of stuff. All those you can find at built.com. And while you're there, while you're at built.com, use that promo code LOCK15 and you're going to get 15% off your next order. Use promo code LOCK15 for 15% off. That is at built.com. And that time of the year, college basketball, the tournament, it is starting today. Well, really the first 4. I don't count that. But you look at Tennessee's odds, looking pretty good at betonline.net. It's finally upon us. You can find all the tournament odds at betonline.net, player props, funky lines, all that type of stuff. It's your number one source for all your sports, gambling needs. And also for your sports podcast, your sports news, anything you want, you can find it at betonline.net. not just basketball, not just football either. Of course, basketball is what we're consumed with right now. BetOnline's got you covered for all your sporting wagering information, including live betting and also your favorite Las Vegas casino games. So right now, head on over to the website, or you can use your mobile device and learn more about the trends and all the latest actions. BetOnline.net. It is where the game starts. Thanks so much for making Locked On Vols your first listen each and every day. Sometimes it's your second listen. Sometimes it's your third listen. But hey, here at Locked On Vols, just get it in there, baby. But we prefer it if it's your first listen. Locked On Vols, your first listen each and every day. All right, it's game day, guys. I know you're getting excited. We've all been waiting on it. And truly, I mean, I've been talking on the radio the last couple of weeks about it, and just the way this team has responded since that loss at Rupp Arena. There's no reason to think Tennessee can't do this whole thing. Tennessee's never been to a Final Four. Tennessee has never won a national championship. And again, that's no indication, because who cares? Like, history has no indication on this current team right now. That's one of the arguments I can't stand, when people are like, oh, well, Tennessee's never done this. And I reference that from time to time. Don't get me wrong. But again, it has no indication on what this team is all about right now. So the way Tennessee plays defense, the way Tennessee finds scoring from a number of different players, how Tennessee's, 9, 10 deep on average in a given game. The way Tennessee's been rebounding here lately. Tennessee can cut down the nets, win the whole thing. Now, again, it has offensive lulls. Again, some days it's not shooting the best. We've seen this team, shoot 27% from the field at points in time this year. That's not great. So we know what Tennessee looks like when it's playing bad basketball. But still, I mean, it's tournament basketball. Who knows? It's going to get crazy. The bracket's going to be turned upside down. It's just how it works. But feel confident going into this thing. I mean, not boastful. I know that's a stretch for this fan base. But be confident, because there's a lot to be confident about with Tennessee basketball right now. So, gosh, I sit at a wood desk here. You can see on YouTube my desk. Well, you can kind of see it. I'm going to knock on wood here. All right, I'm going to knock on wood. Last segment here. This is going to be a fun segment, and shouts to our channel coordinator, Zach Blackerby, for sending all this over from our friends over at BetOnline. Go to BetOnline today. This is not the ad lib I'm doing right now. This is just me talking, because they have so many props and lines, and all of it is March Madness themed. It is awesome. I'm going to read some of these out to you right now. Okay. It's broken into the little March Madness section. It's broken into 9 unique sections. Okay. Here's a mascot section. Which will be higher? The lowest game score of the tournament at -105, or Sister Jean's age, 102 years old is how old she is, at -135. Which mascot will advance the furthest? Wildcats, of course, that's Arizona, Kentucky, Villanova, Davidson. That's at -175. Bulldogs, Gonzaga and Drake. That's a +100. Tigers, Auburn, LSU, Memphis, Texas Southern. That's a +300. Raiders, Texas Tech, Colgate, Wright State. That's a +1,000. Or Spartans, Michigan State, Norfolk State. That's a +3,300. You can go into the regions. Get this one. Champion will come from a blue or a red state. That's based on the 2020 election. Blue +120, red -160. A champion will come from which side of the Mississippi River? East +170, west -250. Champion will come from which region? The South +190, the West +225, the East +240, the Midwest +375. I mean, these are fun, right? Here are some player stats. Most points for any player in a single game. The over-under, 35.5. So you got some props here. Oscar Tshiebwe, points per game on average. Over-under is 16.5. I would take the under there. Oscar Tshiebwe, rebounds per game average. Over-under's at 14.5. I'd still take the under there, honestly. What else? You go down to seeding. What seed will win the 2022 NCAA Men's Basketball Championship? A 1 seed's at -105. A 2 seed's at +260. A 3 seed, Tennessee's a 3 seed, at +550. And then so on and so forth. There's tons and tons of stuff here. A combined total of seeds for Final Four teams. Over 12.5, under 12.5. So you take the over-under that's set at 12.5, and so that means the Final Four, say it's 2-1, say it's a 3, that's 5 right there, and then say it's a 7. That's 12. That'll hit your under at 12.5. So tons and tons of stuff you can have fun with. Here's a couple more that I really, really like. 11 seed upset a 6 seed. Note 11 seeds are 15-13 straight up and 17-7 against the spread. That's over 70% versus 6 seeds since 2011. Let me read that one more time. Okay, keep in mind, if you're going to be hitting the windows here today at BetOnline before the games start, 11 seeds are 15-13 straight up. They're 17-7 against the spread. That's 70.83% versus 6 seeds since 2011. I always talk about how history should be no indication. Well, maybe in terms of betting potentially. That's a will 11 seed upset a 6 seed minus one. Yes at minus 700 because it's probably going to happen, or no at plus 450. Will a 12 seed upset a 5 seed? Note this one. So you got the 11-6, you got the 12-5. 12 seeds are 17-19 straight up, 22-13-1 against the spread. That's 62.8% versus 5 seeds since 2011. 12-5, the dreaded 12-5. Will a 12 seed upset a 5 seed? Yes at minus 240, no at plus 175. Who will will a 13 seed upset a 4 seed? Yes at minus 300. No at plus 200. What? Yes at minus 300? I'm jumping on that no right now easily, right? I mean, it happened, sure, but goodness gracious, plus 200? I might look into that. Will any play-in team advance to the round of 32? We saw it last year. We've seen it many years. Yes at minus 500, no at plus 300. Highest numbered seed to reach the Sweet 16. This will be fun. There was tons of double-digit seeds that made it last year, right? Over 10.5, under 10.5. Will a number 1 seed be losing or tied at halftime in the round of 64? Yes at plus 300, no at minus 500. I would take the yes there because we always see it. Will a 3 seed in the tournament, or will a 3 seed win the tournament? That's key of note for Tennessee. Yes at plus 500, no at minus 900. The odds are not in favor of the Volunteers. Here's one that has Tennessee in it. Which number 3 seed will advance the furthest? Purdue at plus 125. Tennessee at plus 225, the second best odds. Texas Tech at plus 290, or Wisconsin at plus 575. Just a couple more and we'll get out of here. Again, there's, tons I'm not even getting to right here. Sweet 16. How many double-digit seeds will reach the Sweet 16? The number's at 1, over or under. Will Arizona advance to the Sweet 16? Yes at minus 600, no at plus 350. Will Duke advance to the Sweet 16? Yes, minus 300, no at plus 250. So on and so forth. I gave you some of the ones that were really, really fun in my opinion, but obviously you guys can go and check it out for yourself. One more. How many buzzer-beating shots will occur during the round of 64? Zeros at minus 120, so the odds are in favor of it not happening, but 1 at plus 175, 2 at plus 500, so on or so forth. 6 or more is at plus 5,000, so that's a little interesting there. As you can see, a lot of fun can be had if you want to kill a lot of time and maybe make some money and have fun while you're doing it. I encourage you to check out BetOnline and play some of these funky lines and these odds, and it's what March Madness is all about, right? So I'm going to do it. I'm going to wake up early in the morning while you guys are listening to this podcast. I'm going to put my bets on a couple of these, and hey, we'll watch together. It is game day, Tennessee and Longwood, 2:45 Eastern time. We'll have you an immediate post-game reaction pod shortly after, and then we'll catch up with our buddy Ben McKee, and we'll do a Friday show previewing either it be Colorado State or Michigan, because again, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Tennessee's going to win this game here on a Thursday afternoon. Guys, it's been fun. Thank you so much for subscribing to the show on YouTube. Again, the goal is 1,000. My goal is to get there by the end of basketball season. Let's go ahead and get there this weekend. You guys have been killing it. Can't thank you enough. And have fun today. I'm excited. March Madness is fun, and it's really, really fun when the team that you cover, the team that you root for, the team that is you live and die in your team, right? When they make a run. So really, really excited about the start of hopefully something that'll be really, really fun over the next couple of weeks. Guys, I really, really appreciate it. Check out Locked On NFL Draft for your second listen. If you want to change it up just a little bit, you got Ryan Tracy, Eric Crocker. They bring NFL draft analysis, college prospects, NFL front offices, all to life. That is every single day on the NFL, Locked On NFL Draft. So, guys, I appreciate it. We'll talk again later this evening, and enjoy game day, everybody.